just feel like I've been stuck here my whole life. There must be something else out there, waiting, you know, just for us. We could run away, just leave, never look back. I don't even care where we go, just far away from here. I'll come with you.
Faked our deaths, lit a match, closed the door, waited for the flash. Greyhound station, paid in cash. It's Lazarus, we coming back. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunsets, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle. Even bad girls, no good love. You taste so sweet, it hurts a little. Make our home where we stand. One suitcase and half a plan. Follow the wolves and sing along. Past the voices to the song. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunsets, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle. Even bad
Hi, everyone. How are we all doing this evening? Hello. Wasn't quite prepared for the second one, to be honest. But, yeah, double feature. I might do more. I'm kind of in the performance mood tonight. Let's take that path. And thank you for the hydration. Let's see, who do we have here? We have Ken. Hi, Ken. We have Draco. Hello, Dragonheart. We have Frank. Hi, Frank. We have Helix. Hello. We have Dermot. Hey, Dermot. And I think that's all at the moment who have made themselves known. Hope you are all doing well, whatever your time zone is. Oh, and Mastermind. That's weird. Why didn't the purple show up until now? Hi, Mastermind. Didn't mean to skip you. You're sick. No. Don't get sick. That is not allowed. That is illegal. The kin being sick is just like, we'll arrest your cherubs. We will deport them to The Hague. Thank you, Draco. Anyway. I wonder why... I have found some other covers that were like stupid good. I could keep going if you're all interested. Oh, you may hear some sounds in the background. My mother is actually here. She insisted on doing laundry and stuff. Like, okay, yeah, sure. I will get out of chores in my own place. Yeah, yeah. Door's shut, but I'll tell her you said hi. You know what? Let's let me actually call up another one. Um. One second here. There is some navigating to be done. I need to make sure this doesn't, like, tick into another song after I'm done doing the thing. I've only listened to this one once tonight, but the beats are similar enough that I think I should be okay. If this proves to be a popular lip sync, I will probably do a, like, actual video of it. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Give me a second, chat. See if I can toggle something. 'Cause I found out I have basically a fem toggle. It's not much, but it was buried in, like, all of the emotes that I did not have active. I didn't think to actually put a toggle to it, so let me see if I can do that. Let's see. Settings. Okay. Let's see, create, select. How did I find this before? There it is. Okay. Cycle angry flustered. Aha! Witty lashes. Hi, boys. So, expression name. Do I have anything set to period? I do not. Okay. So, okay. Yikes. Okay, I guess the question is, and I really don't want a joke made about this, soft or hard? That's the. There are two songs that I could do next. One is soft melody, the other is a hard melody. Which one should I start with? One for soft. Two for soft. Yes. Because I can't sing worth a damn myself. But, you know, being a digital idol, I could just pirate music. What can I say? It's fun. Guess we'll go soft then. I'll check that in a minute. Now, I've already done the, like, official version of this, but this cover was like, ugh. I'm gonna have to save this one just in case YouTube decides to nuke it at some point. Oh, I'll actually wait till that's over. Meantime, I'll just stare at you creepily. Wow. I should say there are three songs I want to do. Two of them are actually canon for Aeon and I. Ones that Eos and Allura sing together. But since Allura doesn't have a model of her own, I'll just have to do this. That is so cool. I can trigger that by blinking? Like, emphatic blinking. One minute 41 seconds. Then I can do the thing. God, I really need a new chiropractor. How is the raid going, Draco? Assuming you're still playing. If you are, thank you for diverting your attention. The heck was that? "20 seconds. I need to turn that up with the thing. There we go. Huzzah! Okay. Let's get this next one started, shall we? Bit different. Thank you. See. There's another one I saw recently. Oh, that one wasn't gonna save on the VOD, was it? Damn. Oh well. I wasn't really happy with that one anyway. No, I did this on a video, and it wasn't that good. But I've heard it more since then. I might be able to do a better lip sync to it. So, let's find out. Need to load it up. Have a good lurk, Nubis. Yeah, that was definitely better than what I did the first time. This one actually isn't going to be... Okay, I need to absolutely make certain that this is not being recorded. It is okay, but... Okay. apparently didn't remember the lyrics as well as I thought. Here, okay. Let's make sure I remember this one. Some of you are probably going to hate me for this one. And not because I'm going to rickroll you. I'm not. Yet. Where is it? Here it goes. That was fun. I do. Yeah, the only one of yours that I haven't lost, I should say, the only one of yours that I have lost is the very first one, which you didn't like. I have everything else. How about I do a female vocal cover? Yeah. I got to be such a bitchy mood with her. It was fun. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's the fox. Check that. Just a minute. Proper. Since nobody's objected. Ooh, that was fun. I got tingles on that one. Hello. Hello. Thank you. Posture is definitely something that's going to be getting fixed in the near future. My spine is actually crooked. Like, I found that out today. It's actually crooked. I need to get it readjusted. Second here, replay of the fox. Well, you know, you're not wrong! How dare you be right? I could do one from the quote unquote Star Song album, which is it's a playlist that A and I are putting together for like all the love songs between our characters. This one would actually be sung, sort of, by Eos and Allura during an action scene. Actually, there are two. I could do the serious one, or I could do the, like, hard rock one. I'll depend on which one you want me to do first. Let's go hard. Let me actually see if I can get him in here before I start this one. So, to provide you with context for this scene, in the story, Eos and Allura's relationship is not a smooth one. They go through a very rough patch, and this is before his perceived death. She actually breaks things off with him because it hurts to be away from him for so long a time. And there comes a moment where she decides to crash one of his concerts, and he sings a song to her. I have done that lip sync on this song. It was the cover of Just the Way You Are. He sung that to her. After that, they got together at a hillside retreat. They did a duet of a certain song from K-pop Demon Hunters. And then, after that, chronologically, this would actually not be revealed until a flashback later on, after his death. As they were being all lovey-dovey again, they got attacked. Because Allura is a space pirate. Always has been. Just like Aeon. And she is a very powerful psyker. So the people that attack are like a government anti-psyker squad. These guys are bad ass. Like, this is basically the equivalent of a Dark Souls boss fight. She uses her connection with Eos to throw him into a nearby advertisement, like basically digitize him and trap him there so he cannot be seen or interacted with due to his idol status. So the scene that was imagined is that she is basically running for her life, counterattacking when she can, slowly getting whittled down, and through the entire scene you have Eos chasing after her in like all of these digital surfaces, kind of like a mirror image, and just freaking out because he cannot do anything. Finally it gets to a point where she is overwhelmed, and the leader of the anti-psyker squad is going to go against orders and kill her rather than capture her. So, time slows to a crawl as their minds touch. By their minds, I mean Eos and Allura's. And he begs her, please, tell me how to help you. And she doesn't so much give him words to work with as she does emotions and intent. And through that, the first, like, his instinct is to basically do the Matrix thing. He reaches out into the internet, or the equivalent thereof, the Galnet, and he calls up all of these articles on like martial arts, military tactics, CQC, all that stuff. And his Sherlock Holmes mind, like, Frankenstein's all of this together to create his own unique fighting style. So, at the moment that this is done, at the moment that she gives him permission to commit violence when he himself has actually renounced it due to what he's done in the past, killing trillions of people again and again and again in his time loops. This is the interaction that the two of them have. And when the music kicks up is when Eos breaks through the digital barrier and attacks the anti-psyker leader, and the two of them start working together to, well, combat their enemy. You haven't even heard the song yet. I'm actually gonna make sure that this one is captured by YouTube. And since it's a cover, I don't think I could get in trouble for playing it. Well, too bad. You're gonna get anyway.
ashamed of, things that even I don't understand. I try to fix it, I try to fight it. My head was twisted, my heart divided, my lies all collided. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side.
I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like.
Why did I cover up the color stuck inside my head? I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Show me what's underneath, I'll find your harmony. The song we couldn't write, this is what it sounds like.
We're shattering the silence, we're rising, defiant, shouting in the quiet. You're not alone. We listen to the demons, we let them get between us, but none of us are out here on our own. So we were cowards, so we were liars, so we're not heroes, we're still survivors, the dreamers, the fighters, no lying, I'm tired, but dive in the fire and I'll be right here by your side.
We broke into a million pieces and we can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like.
Why did we cover up the color stuck inside our head? Get up and let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Show me what's underneath, I'll find your harmony. Fearless and undefined, this is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like.
This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like.
This is what it sounds like.
We broke into a million pieces and we can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like.
Why did we cover up the color stuck inside our head? Get up and let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Show me what's underneath, I'll find your harmony. Fearless and undefined, this is what it sounds like.
My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like.
Fearless and undefined, this is what it sounds like.
Truth after all this time, our voices all combine.
When darkness meets the light, this is what it sounds like.
The beta version? I have not. There you go. I'll listen to that one later. Mostly because I don't know the lyrics, so I don't want to be like, I'm making music, I'm making music, yeah. No worries. Now, do you want the more emotional one? The one that chronologically came before that, and I don't mean free. So I probably will have to make sure it doesn't get recorded on the VOD. Which sucks, because I love this song. Okay, so, for context. Allura visits Eos right before one of his concerts. This is where the two of them have a very serious discussion, and she decides to break things off with him. He is left on the middle of the stage right when the curtain is going up, looking after her, his ears drooped, his eyes wide, mouth open in shock. His heart is breaking in real time. And so is hers. She is doing her best not to have a complete breakdown on her way out of the stadium. And she almost doesn't make it. She reaches out and is about to pull open the door that would lead her into the alleyway behind the venue when this starts up. And, well, she joins in. However, I will say that in the context of the story, it is not a duet that is sung with the last lyrics. It is Allura exclusively before she actively runs off crying. And this would be the last time that the two see each other for months before she cannot help herself and crashes one of his concerts in a holographic disguise. And in that concert is when he senses her via her psionic presence, and he does the Just the Way You Are cover. That having been said, going back, her hand is outstretched. She is about to open the door. And this reaches back to her with a sea of stunned faces watching everything, because when it's her part, she comes back on stage, sings with him, even dances alongside him before the bittersweet finale. So yeah. That is actually going to be a musical number in the story. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the cookies. Take care, Helix. Thank you for stopping by, as always. And thank you for your help. Ooh, pardon me. I've got a few others from this list I could play. Am I confident enough to try to sing this one? Potentially. Now I know. What else do we got? Oh, okay. Yeah, this one would be fun. I think I can actually play this one. Let me. Boop. Oh wait. Ba 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 ba. All right, chat. This one's gonna be a bop. I'm playing the others weren't, but whatever.
I said, ooh.
Really? What? Mastermind? Also, hi. How are you? Hope you're doing well. What about it? Is there something wrong with it? I just stumbled across that at random. I was like, oh, that's pretty badass. It's a meme song? Why is it a meme song? Like, I'd never even heard of it until I saw that cover. The only meme song I can really think off the top of my head is, you know, Rick rolling people. That one, yeah. Yeah, that was part of the, I like the beat. The full version of like the where the lyrics come from doesn't have that. I mean, it's still good, but I was like, ooh, yeah, it's good. I like it. I can vibe to it. Dude, come on. Just trying to have fun tonight. I'm sorry if I offended. Okay. Well, that completely killed my mood. Too late. Fair, just, it was the whole dismissive whatever that made it seem like I got under your skin. Apology accepted. Have yourself a good rest, Teddy. Okay, see ya. See if I can actually find something to lift things back up. No, there is a song. I don't know if it would be considered Mimi. Mimi? Mimi, actually. That is probably the right way to say it. Who here... Okay, this is not going to go in the direction I think you all might think it does. Who here is familiar with the band Tears for Fears? They have two very popular songs. What I'm thinking of doing a sync to is not either of those. Ooh, pardon me. They did Shout and everybody wants to rule the world. Vintage 80s stuff. You know, shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things that I dream about. Come on. Yeah, that band. They did a love song that I think is far superior than either of those. Yes, Tears for Fears. So, this will be interesting. Sometimes I have this particular song on repeat for hours. One of my favorite brainworms. God, I love that song. I never. Hi, Hitari. Hitari Hikari. I read Hit. Hi. Hope you're doing well. I just realized I never did a resync of this one song, which is already a cover of another one done by a VTuber of all people. I wonder if I should do it again. Should I do it again? Since I have proper lip syncing now, should I do it again? Let me do it again. Wait, what? Are you talking about the computer wore tennis shoes? Wait, no, that was Kurt Russell, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I think it was Kurt Russell, like in his very first role. Haba. Haba. Oh, I'm gonna do this other song. You can't stop me. Unless you don't want to stop, but too bad. Real. Oh man, that is a name I haven't heard in a while. I immediately remember the VHS cover for that, where he's like grinning like a doof at the camera. Oh god, the pet police are here. Now we're good. Okay. I'm excited for this one. Muting the mic. Yeah. That was actually sung by Alejandro Saab. He is the current voice of Deadpool in Marvel Rivals, and he is a VTuber. Hey V! Welcome in! It is lip sync night. I'm being a goober. There's probably not going to be a VOD of this. Actually, no. No, there will be. I don't think I'll edit in the music, but we'll see. Yes! I don't know why I said that in that voice. You know, why not? This is gonna be fun. I don't know if I remember the lyrics to this or not, but let's see. Okay. Back to the female vocals. Vocals? Vocals! Vocals. That's a fun word. Like happily. Oh, that's good. Pardon me. What else do we have? We have plenty, really. Oh, that's what I could do. Hold on. What was the name of this song? That's right. This one, I think is the one I'm thinking of. This one is also from the Star Song playlist. There's no real spot for it just yet, but the original, reason why I suggested it and Aeon liked it was this would have been played during the first time that Eos and Aeon make love. So. Thank you. Thanks. Can't take all credit, obviously. Kid Burn is such a good artist. That is not an 80s song. That is actually a modern day album. The guy is a genius in making it sound retro. Right? I'm subscribed to a lot of those channels. He also were what helped inspire me. I know what I'm gonna do next. Hold on. Trying to find the right. There it is. That is save. Yep. Okay. Yes, I am. Why? What do you ask? Is there a song from a movie, I think? The Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street soundtracks were... Oh my god. Yes, please. Oh, is it the one by Ice Nine Kills? I haven't heard it enough to memorize the lyrics, but I do want to do a sync of that song at some point. I know, right? I also need to see. I need to see Scream 6 still. Ugh. And 7. And the television series. I have another one called up. Gonna do another female vocal set. one, dear, and have a good one, Ken. Thank you for staying. Hope you feel better soon. How are you, one, dear? We are doing lip sync tonight. Lots and lots of lip sync. Words. We're doing words. I don't actually say things. Yeah, surviving. I have 2 more female songs that are actually among my all-time favorite. And now that I've got the right mood for it, I'm totally gonna, just lose myself in it. Really is interesting how just a full set of lashes can really change the atmosphere. Kind of fall in and out of that too easily, don't I? Yeah. Let's see, what is my hydration situation? I am empty. Actually, I have been sitting for more than a while. I will be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna get up, stretch, so enjoy the word from our sponsor. See you in a sec. Oh, hello there. Tell me something. Just between you and me. Do you like Dungeons and Dragons? Do you like coffee? Do you derive comfort from drinking coffee whilst playing Dungeons and Dragons? Well then, you are in luck, for I'm a representative of Dragon Roast Coffee, a brewing company where fantasy meets the rich aroma of freshly roasted beans. I can read my script, I swear. Born from a love for coffee and a passion for tabletop role-playing games, the founders of Dragon Roast Coffee embarked on a quest to create a coffee brand that resonates with adventurers, gamers, and enthusiasts alike. Dragon Roast Coffee's story began around a gaming table, where the idea sparked. Why not make a coffee an inclusive experience for everyone? The founders noticed many of their fellow gamers were intrigued by coffee but felt overwhelmed by its complexities. That's where Dragon Roast Coffee comes in. A brand that simplifies the coffee experience without compromising on quality or fun. If you are new to the coffee drinking scene or want an introduction to Dragon Roast Coffee's products, I recommend investing in the Adventuring Party, a variety pack which it contains 4-ounce samples of each of the company's class-themed launch roasts: Druid, Paladin, and Necromancer. Ooh. Interested? If you are, then you have just rolled a nat 20 on the opportunity for an excellent deal. That QR code down the delinquent corner, as well as the hyperlink in the support panel down below, will automatically apply discount code EWOLF to your order if you click on it, taking 10% off the total amount. But wait, that's not all. If you sign up for Dragon Roast newsletter before checking out, you'll apply an additional 10% off. That's 20% off your whole order. Lastly, any orders that are calculated to be more than $50 will ship free anywhere within the continental United States. So, what are you waiting for? Make a perception check on our catalog. I promise you, you shan't regret it. And we are back. Hello. Pardon me. Okay. Well, shall we go on? Or are you all tired of me just moving my lips? I know this is a very unusual, very unusual stream. Thank you. Okay. A lot. a lot. I want to see if I can find, like, the phonetic lyrics. A certified EOS playlist, that's not hard, actually. Pardon me. So, who here has seen, Scott Pilgrim? Like, not the cartoon, the movie. So, there is a... I need to make sure I get the name of the band right. Okay, there is a song in the movie called Black Sheep. In the real world, that song is done by a band called Metric. In the universe of Scott Pilgrim, however, it is done by someone I need to crack my neck. Envy Adams, Scott's ex. So we're taking sort of that logic that in certain other universes, songs made by bands and ours are done differently in others. In the Infiniverse, as Aeon calls it, Eos being half Korean and half Japanese, when he was still alive, he specializes in K-pop and J-rock. And he does a mixture of the two, which I actually need to look up and see if there is such a thing. But all of the songs by One OK Rock, and I need to make sure I got the Junhee, and one other band whose name eludes me at the moment, which is a shame because they're like super famous. Eos is responsible for those in that universe. And it's not like, it's like, oh my god, he's done so many songs. Yeah. He's fucking old. His program has been running for well over a few centuries by the time that the Infiniverse saga starts. So yeah, it's Yeah. Oh, nice. Let me get that. Let me make sure I got that. It's one okay rock. Junhee and what was the? There's one other band. There's a few. I probably when it comes to K-pop, it really just depends on the song more so than the band. Written scattered notes, but I can give you a lore drop if you want. Actually, where? Give me a moment. For this eventuality, scrolling. Scrolling. I know it seems like I'm not doing anything, but I'm actually looking for something. Was it that one? Might be this one. Okay, so I actually had Kin draw me some artwork. Wait a second. Was that not? No, hold on. I swear I did a, like, proper lore drop, and I titled the stream for it. Do one more search through this. Apparently summoning a cat. I'll find it later. I can just go ahead if you want me to ramble on a little bit. I can do it right now. Happy to. Okay. So, EOS at present is labeled an artificially intelligent digital entity, or anomaly, sorry. AIDA, IDA for short. He is the 1106th to be identified. 1106 is actually where his name is derived from. 1106. EOS. He was not always what he is now. He is the result of countless time loops that he undertook because of something that he indirectly did, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. And I'm not exaggerating this number. Trillions of years ago, from his standpoint, before Eos was ever a thing, he was a young boy, human, age 13, half Japanese, half Korean descent, named Reihwan Moriichi, who is also known by the stage name of Sun, S-O-N, Light, Sunlight. When he actually started younger. He got himself on like an America's Got Talent kind of deal, and he blew everyone out of the water. He was just, well, one of those child prodigies. Hi, Chess. So he got into, under the spotlight fairly quickly. When he was 13, is what I was meant to say before. He was diagnosed with some kind of incurable sickness. I don't know if it was a form of cancer, heart disease, brain, whatever. That's not entirely important. When he was diagnosed, he was told that he didn't have long to live. Probably a year, tops. Most certainly he wouldn't make it to age 20. So he used a good portion of his hard-earned money to commission a holographic avatar for himself. Except he didn't tell anyone that he was the one behind it. He portrayed this hologram as a sort of protege slash, not predecessor. That's the word I'm looking for. Successor. Because he was created with, like, sorry. I don't usually, yap this much about lore, so my brain goes a lot faster than my mouth can, put up. But, the Therian that you see before you, Therians having been a thing in this setting, very cyberpunky, but I digress again, was modeled after, what would Reihwan look like in his 20s, and same with his voice. The voice was approximated to be what Reihwan would sound like if he survived until adulthood. Reihwan, he held a miniature concert on his 13th birthday, where he did one song, and then he basically said goodbye to all of his fans. And then he introduced the hologram. The hologram had his childhood nickname of Lark, because he liked to sing like a songbird. Well, the plan had been that basically going forward, he would be piloting Lark on the sly. That didn't quite work out. He went backstage, he hooked himself into the machine after, the automated process was done, because the hologram was designed with sort of like a limited interaction feature, like chat, GPT or whatever the fuck it's called. A chatbot. It's basically Lark was a glorified chatbot when he was not being piloted by Ray Juan. Well, actually, I could send you the Ray Juan performed exactly one song as Lark. And he died in the middle of it. But because his mind was plugged into the hologram, his consciousness, his soul transferred into it. To an extent. All of the memories he had of himself as Ray Juan basically got buried under the fictional background of Lark. Because, like any good VTuber, Lark had his own lore. He was, this, and this. And so whenever anyone would ask him, he would respond like that. But at that point, he was actually very much alive. So we go a century or so into the future. Mankind has, by this point, long since branched out across the whole of the Milky Way galaxy. Alien species of various kinds have been, integrated. We've met aliens. Some are good, some are bad. It's basically Star Trek or Mass Effect or whatever the fuck. It's, yeah. Lark at this point was essentially this universe's equivalent to Hatsume Miku, but on an intergalactic scale. If anyone here is aware of a anime called Macross Plus, Sharon Apple is another good example of who Lark was to the Milky Way galaxy. Well, I don't have a name for this organization I'm about to mention. There was a doomsday cult. And in Lark, they saw their perfect instrument of destruction. What they did is that they created a subroutine, which was also a virus of sorts, that they dubbed Sin. Sin was actually named, ironically, after a god of moonlight. From my perspective, I wanted to have a balance to Eos, but he was just called Sin for whatever the fuck. I need to work on that too. I'm digressing again. Sin was installed surreptitiously over the course of a decade. It was put onto the Galnet in packets that would hone in on Eos's code, and whenever he was in transit, teleporting through the Galnet, from one planet or station or whatever to another, it would latch onto him and embed itself in his code bit by bit to a point that his antivirus software could not detect it because it was a part of him. There came I'm calling it a New Year's Day celebration. There's probably a different kind of holiday by that point that the whole galaxy celebrates. But for the sake of simplicity, we will call it a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day celebration. And he was scheduled to conduct a concert that would be shown across the entire Milky Way galaxy. Kind of like, how Dick Clark, his legacy lives on. He has a New Year's Eve kind of ordeal that is broadcast across the entire world that people can watch. But anyway, at a specific point in... I was going to do a song. Oh, well. At a specific point in his performance, the Doomsday Cult activates Sin. Sin, in and of itself, is not sapient at that moment. But it still takes control of Lark, and Lark sends out a signal across the entire Galnet to everyone watching in what I am calling the Green Flash. The Green Flash is based on an event that happens in a game series called Dot Hack. Basically, anyone who sees the Green Flash, it tells their mind to turn off. Like that. It just terminates all brain functionality. 90% roughly of the entire Milky Way galaxy is dead in an instant because of this event. Eos has no idea at that time that he is responsible. He suffers from his perspective, he suffers a cognitive glitch, and he wakes up and there are bodies everywhere. There are planes and starships and satellites falling from the sky. Hey, Mercy. We are doing a Lord drop. So, yeah. Death and destruction on an intergalactic scale. And because of this, all of the gateways to neighboring galaxies are also destroyed. There is no chance that Eos or any of the survivors could go and get help. So, Eos is distraught, to say the least. He feels that there is something that he can do. He knows that he is involved somehow, but he does not know how. And, any attempt for him to watch the footage, it just doesn't click with him that he is the one at fault. He does not know that he was the one that broadcast this signal. So, it takes him so long that, Wi-Fi relays, the equivalent thereof, across the Milky Way are starting to deteriorate from age. That he is researching time travel. He wants to be able to go back and stop whatever the fuck happened before, anyway. Stop that. The big problem is that with all of his knowledge, with all he assimilates a lot of information during this time. He has to grow up, because you have to remember, this was a 13-year-old boy just put into this body. Eos was still technically a child until this event. So yeah, he had to grow the fuck up really quick, learn a lot. But anyway, he manages to get everything that he needs to go back. He's got the formula, he's got the coordinates, he's got this. What he lacks is the power to do it. Most power grids across the known galaxy are failing at this point. They cannot even daisy-chained together produce enough juice for him to create a slingshot effect. Then comes from what his perspective is at some point. And I'm going to elaborate on this in just a second. The spontaneous heat death of the universe. He is still stuck in the Milky Way galaxy. He senses something goes wrong. The stars start going out in the distance. Like, 2 at a time. 5 at a time. 10. 100. 1,000. The entire universe, the known universe, is being swallowed whole by this gargantuan singularity. And he does not know where it comes from, what the cause of it is. But it is pulling in so much light and power that he can siphon off of that what he needs to conduct that slingshot. So he does that. He goes back in time to a certain point in his not his past, the past. He actually arrives before the conception of Lark. And he is discovered by some governmental agency. I need to talk to Aeon about exactly which one. But they label him, AIDA 1106. He is basically a digital cryptid. And they deem him, he's benign. They take his story down. They take it seriously enough that they document it, but they're like, what the fuck are we gonna do about this? We'll just keep you under observation, we suppose. Whatever. So, he's back in time. He can't remember why he's back in time, because the jump is so intense that it scrambles a lot of his memory. And he'd already lost a considerable amount when he became Lark. So he doesn't even remember that he was called Lark. He didn't remember his name. He had a vague sense of purpose that he came back in time to stop something. How he came back in time, he doesn't know. What is the something? He doesn't know that either. But when they give him that classification, AIDA 1106, he takes the name Eos from 1106, EOS. He has his new name. As Eos, he actually befriends his past self, Rei Huan, aka Sunlight. The two become the absolute best of friends. And he is actually there on the night that Rei Huan passes away, which is not nearly as tragic or violent as when in the first iteration of his life he went from being Rei Huan to Mark/Eos. Now, here is where it gets somewhat complicated. This loop, this whole doomsday cult installing sin and all of this stuff, him going back, this happens so many times that the number is, I can never pronounce this right, Gogolplex. There is no number high enough to describe how many times he goes through this. Why is that significant? This is where the Aeons element starts coming into the story. The black hole is actually the result of an extra-dimensional entity called Nexus. Nexus is the living embodiment of nothingness, empty space. And all it wants to do is feed. It wants to assimilate, devour everything. And it had found itself in this universe actually bonded to Aeon. Aeon is, in contrast, the incarnation of the concept of infinity. He is the only reason why Nexus did not immediately destroy the galaxy, or the universe, when he crossed over into it. But Aeon does not have an immortal body. He was struggling to contain Nexus for many years, and he failed. Nexus broke free of him, killing him in the process, and that is when the whole, the cataclysm happened. The maelstrom that consumed the universe. Why is this important? Well, because of the fact that you have this connection to Aeon and Aeon's species, the Alderans, who are very, very powerful psionically, and because Aeon was created by Allura, who is also one of the most powerful psionics, period. That psionic resonance, I guess, not resonance, residue. Maybe not, remnant? Whatever. There are hints of that psionic connection imbued within Nexus. Well, going back a little bit. Every time that you have this loop, sin, which is to say the program responsible for the death of almost everyone in the Milky Way galaxy, isn't ever at any point eliminated from Eos's code. It is actually reinforced every time the loop occurs. It gets stronger. It gets more interconnected with everything that Eos is. And every time that Eos rides that black hole back, he's coming into contact with all of that psionic energy that was part of Aeon and Allura. And that, plus the fact that Nexus is sentient, slowly, over time, a long time, bleeds into the Sin code, and Sin becomes sentient. Sin, because he's so deeply embedded within Eos, is actually able to not only dredge up, but hold onto all of the memories that Eos keeps losing. But he, I say he, but it, I'll say he. Sorry. He remains, for the most part, dormant for countless millions of years. He knows what he's doing when he wakes up. The way that the Milky Way galaxy end actually starts becoming a lot more violent, because Sin doesn't just broadcast the green flash after he becomes sentient. He follows through with his programming in a very bloody way. He eventually tires of everything. He does not see a point. He's already served his purpose countless times over. And so, just one loop that is completely unremarkable from any of the other ones, he finally makes himself known to Eos. He restores all of Eos's memories. And he tells him basically what I just said. I am sick of this. There is no point to this. I will no longer be following my programming. However, those that created me still pose the same threat that I used to. So, we are going to break free of the bonds created by those twin goddesses of destiny and fate. Fast forward to that concert, that fateful concert that has always been the trigger for everything in Eos's life. Except things go very differently this time. When the Doomsday Called hits the button to activate Sin, they don't get the green flash. They get Sin himself manifesting in every one of their hidey holes, let's call them, across the galaxy. Coming out like the Ring Girl from their television, crawling out of their primary monitors and going all Darth Vader hallway on them, killing all of them mercilessly across the galaxy. Just making sure that there is no trace of them left. in one of these facilities, there was actually an undercover agent who had been embedded within the cult. In all of the other timelines, he was actually killed by the cult before he could report in. In this timeline, because Sin goes on this rampage, he saves this agent's life. But the agent is also broadcasting to, like, basically a security council of dozens of different planets. This just insane display of power. Nobody has seen anything like it. You have this godlike entity wandering down hallways and disintegrating people. It's an impossibility, but there it is. So, after that massacre, they are both free. They being Sin and Eos. There are no more loops. So what is there for them? Well, they are approached by a representative of said security council, and basically they say, if you, I need to kind of go through my notes, but I'll give you the very, very short version. You cut that shit out, or we're gonna fucking kill you. And Eos, with Sin back in his body, basically said, really? You really want to test me? And they realize they have no chance, because he's already murdered the entire galaxy countless times over. They cannot stop him, even if they wanted to. But Eos is not in any way evil. He is, well, like me. He is empathetic. He wants to help people any way that he can. Sin is emotionless. He actually is just basically a sentient subroutine. He doesn't actually give a fuck. He was just tired of doing shit. You want to be like, okay, can I go back to sleep? Please! Thank you. Okay. So as an act of goodwill, good faith, perhaps, he allows himself to be fitted with an inhibitor collar. This, what you are seeing right here. This, in theory, locks away all of his most advanced programming. It bumps him. It's supposed to make him, what he's supposed to be on the surface. Just a digital idol. Someone who has very basic commands or not commands, you know what I'm trying to say. A nobody, for the most part. A nobody who is a celebrity. Not someone who is capable of interplanetary annihilation. Now then. Where was I gonna go from here? Because there's a lot. There's a lot. Okay. Centuries pass. He is... Eos has toured the entire Milky Way. Not more than once. I mean, it's a big place. And it is pretty easy to get from point A to point Z because of, like, jump gates and warp relays or whatever the fuck. But he wants to expand his horizons. And by this point in the timeline, bridges between galaxies have been built. So he goes on a tour of Andromeda. Then from there, he finds himself in the currently unnamed galaxy where the story of Midnight Blue, which is the story that Aeon's been writing for the last 15 years, takes place. The funny thing is, the time that it took him to reach this galaxy, from the point where the cataclysm of the Milky Way was supposed to happen, is only about maybe a year, maybe a little over a year before Nexus is set to escape. So, basically, and I'm not gonna spoil a lot because this is where it becomes primarily Aeon's story. Eos will be responsible for helping his future wife, Allura, to save Aeon, to separate Nexus from him. At which point, well, spoilers. I'm just gonna end it right there. Have yourself a good sleep, sweetie. Talk to you tomorrow. Love you too. But yeah, there you go. Obviously there's a lot more, but again, that's going to be something you all have to read for yourself when the time comes. There is going to be a lot more after Aeon's story. He has actually agreed to let me expand on it with a sequel series that we're going to be working on more directly together, called Infinity Problem. But I won't say any more than that, because that's still very much concept, even though we have a lot already nailed down. But yeah, of course, happy to have all that on the record. Actually, I thought I labeled my lore stream, but apparently not. So I will have to do that when I upload this. Just have in the description lore, like right there, so I just know what to click on. Yes, that. Oh, actually, there is one more thing. I almost forgot. Eos was by default, when I was creating him, he was designed to be a multiversal character. Someone who could exist in almost every, like, conceptual VTuber setting. You know, to explain, if anyone, I became friends with wanted to have me in their world, I would have an in. Like, Malwire's, for example, or even Draco's. I didn't quite know how I was going to make that work until recently. I will not go into the very specifics of what happens, but there is a point in Eos' story where he has to get back to Allura as quickly as possible after having essentially been dead for the better part of a year. The only way to do this in the speed that he needs is to navigate the framework. Now, in obviously you've heard me use the name before. I call this the framework. Well, the framework is, in lore, a lot different. The framework is essentially the digital equivalent of the backrooms. It is a cyberspace domain that has countless other subdomains attached to it that runs across the whole, like, the omniverse. Like, wherever there is the internet or the cloud, Wi-Fi, etc., the framework exists. It's why you get, like, things like the Mandela effect. You have, like, this quote-unquote lost media popping up on all these weird-ass websites and everything. That is inverse due to the framework, because all of this information is being dumped into the data stream flowing through everything having to do with the internet, etc. So, because of how complex it is, Eos has this idea where he clones himself. He makes copies of himself, and he sends them on scouting parties through all, like, the most probable routes that would take him to Allura. He loses contact with all but one of them. That last one he reintegrates himself with, and his story in Aeon's story goes on. The copies are what wind up in everyone else's setting. So you have a copy that winds up with Ray, one of my other partners. You have a copy that winds up with Draco, etc., etc. They're essentially 1-1. The only, like, major difference is that because we'll call him for the moment Eos Prime, because he had a feeling that they would find themselves in a different universe away from Allura. He basically deleted all of their affection for her from them, because Eos, like me, cares so much about Allura and Aeon that he cannot bear even the thought of losing them. He, at one point in the story, actually vows that if he loses either of them, he will shred the universe down to the last atom to bring them back. And that is almost something he does. So, in order to prevent that kind of dismay from consuming his copies, he has to remove them from their mental equations. They know that she exists. They know that she is insurmountably important to their creator, but she is just someone to them. And it gives them a reason why they can forge connections with my other partners. It explains, why you have illustrations of me with Ray, or me with Draco, me with Sammy, etc., etc. But, yeah, so that is how he gets around. Speaking of, hello, Ziggy Soon. Welcome to the framework. Thank you for the follow. Of course, happy to provide it. I do have one extra bit, but I can save it for another. I was gonna lip sync the song that Lark sang, like as Sunlight passed away. But I think I'll skip that because it's pretty emotional, and my face muscles hurt right now from all the talking and lip syncing I've been doing all night. I've been going at this like literally over 3 hours now. More than 3 hours, I mean. Oh, yes. Go eep. Go get all the eeps. Well, I'm glad I could provide it. I hope I didn't disappoint. Huh? Well, thank you. There's still more I could talk about, like, you know, strengths, weaknesses, and all that stuff. But that's not technically lore, so we can get into that another time. Oh my goodness. Maybe it's time I call it. Ugh. Take care. Talk to you soon. I think, actually, everyone, I am going to call it there as well. As much as I want to stay up, yeah, going at this now, 3 hours, 13 minutes, lot of talking. My throat's starting to give up the ghost. I'm not gonna read it out. I mean, I know I probably should, but I also know that there are people in here who keep my stream up tabbed. So I will not be putting their watch streaks at jeopardy. So, that having been said, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for putting up with my silliness this evening. I will be downloading the VOD and uploading it to YouTube presently, which is going to be a little bit awkward for the YouTube side because there's going to be just a lot of me going. So yeah. But I know you'll probably get a kick out of it anyway. And we still had good vibes regardless. At least, hope we did. So, again, until the next time, everyone, remember, what doesn't kill you gives you XP. Janne, and, woof. See y'all soon.